Dear students, today we are going to talk about Introduction to Advanced Research Methods. First of all, I would like to talk about this course. This course introduces the basic of the research to the students. It includes language of research, ethical principles and challenges, and the elements of the research process within quantitative, qualitative, and mixed methods approaches. It is designed to assist students understand the difference between different forms of research writing like book, thesis, and research paper. Now I would like to discuss about some course objectives. This course aims to enable students to develop an understanding of research terminology, create awareness of the ethical principles of research, ethical challenges, and approval processes, differentiate among quantitative, qualitative, and mixed methods approaches to research, learn the steps involved in research process, identify the components of literature review process, understand the difference between research paper, thesis, and book writing, develop knowledge about different components of a synopsis and a research paper. Here are some learning objectives of this course. First of all, we are going to define and explain the concept of the scientific research, deduction and induction reasoning, theory and hypothesis and empiricism, clarify the source of knowledge and the truth, identify and explain the features and applications of different categories and the subcategories of research methods, and the characteristics of a good research and a good topic. Basic concepts and the terms. First of all, I would like to talk about the basic concepts and the terms in advanced research methods. Definition of the research. Research is a scientific way of answering questions and the testing hypotheses. In another definition, you can say that research is the systematic and objective analysis recording of the controlled observation that may lead to the development of the generalization, principles or theories resulting in prediction and the possible control of the events. Here systematic means it is following a system. And objective analysis, that is based on facts or observation or some type of experiences or some types of factual knowledge. And when we talk about the theories, or when we talk about hypothesis, a theory is basically a supposition or a system of ideas intending to explain something, especially one based on general principles independent of the thing to be explained. Definition of the scientific research. Scientific research may be defined as systematic, controlled, empirical, and critical investigation of hypothetical propositions about the presumed relations among observed phenomena. Like, for example, if we talk about the research in detail about the definition, basically research in common parlance refers to a research for the knowledge. One can also define research as a scientific systematic search for the pertinent information on a specific topic. In fact, research is an art of the scientific investigation, and according to the Advanced Learner's Dictionary of the Current English, lays down the meaning of research as a careful investigation or inquiry, especially through the search for new facts in any branch of knowledge. Here there are some key words like systematic, controlled, empirical, critical investigation, hypothetical propositions, presumed relations, or observed phenomena. Actually, hypothesis, when we talk about the hypothetical propositions or the hypothesis, hypothesis is a supposition or proposed explanation made on the basis of the limited evidence as a starting point for the further investigation. And when we talk about the empiricism or empirical, basically it is based on some type of practical or experience. And empiricism is a theory that origin of the all knowledge is sense experience, and emphasizes the role of experience and evidence, and especially sensory perception and in the formation of ideas, and argues that the only knowledge humans can have is posteriori. And when we talk about what is meant by the controlled observation or the controlled study or the controlled research, here when we talk about the theory or when we talk about the empiricism, posteriori is a knowledge that is based on experience, And when we talk about the control study, a control study, researchers are able to determine which of their subjects receive the factor that is being tested for having a causal influence upon another factor. While in an uncontrolled or observational studies, researchers have no such control over whether their subjects receive the treatment being investigated. Approaches to the knowledge. Here are some 5 sources of the evidence in the pursuit of the truth. When you are going to find out the truth, there are the some approaches, or there are these are the 5 sources. First of all is authority. Number 2 is custom and the tradition. Number 3 is the personal experience. Number 4 is deductive reasoning. And number 5 is scientific inquiry. Here deductive reasoning or inductive reasoning is deductive reasoning. Actually it lies on a general statement or hypothesis, and sometimes called premise or the standard held to be true, and the premise is used to reach a specific logical conclusion. And the common example is like if or then statement. If a is equal to b and b is equal to c, then deductive reasoning tells us that a is equal to c. And while in inductive reasoning it is going to specific to the general, it is the opposite of the deductive reasoning, and in this inductive reasoning makes broad generalization from specific observations. Like basically there is data, then conclusions are drawn from the data. And an example of inductive reasoning is like the logic is the coin I pulled from the bag is a penny. It is going from specific to the general. Deductive reasoning, actually it is from the general to the specific. Like thinking proceeds from general assumption to the specific application. And while in inductive reasoning it is going from specific to the general, and conclusions about the events general are based on information generated through many individual and direct observation, that those are specific. And in inductive reasoning basically there are the two kinds of the induction. One is perfect, another is imperfect. Researchers observe an individual or the group of individuals from a large population. Based on these observations, generalizations are made back to the larger population. And two kinds of induction are perfect and the imperfect. In perfect, conclusions based on the observations made from the all members of a group or population, while in imperfect, conclusions based on observation made from a random sample of the members of a population. And deductive versus inductive reasoning. And deductive is like there is an example from general to the specific, which is in deductive, and the specific to the general, which is in inductive. Like for example, in deductive reasoning, every mammal has a lungs and all rabbits are mammals, therefore every rabbit has lungs. They are talking from the mammal from general, and now they are going to the specific, that every rabbit has a lungs. Now they are going to the specific. And now in inductive reasoning they are going to from specific to the general. Like every rabbit that has been observed has lungs, therefore every rabbit has lungs. Now here they are going from specific to the general. This is an example. Sometimes we acquire knowledge through the use of the logic. Logic is very important. There is an example of the logical deduction. Like all birds have feathers and this animal has feathers, therefore this animal is a bird. There is a logic when you are giving some type of logic, when you are giving some type of point that is based on some type of fact. Deduction and induction. In deduction basically first there is a theory, then hypothesis, then observation, and then confirmation. In deduction first theory comes, after the theory there would be hypothesis when you give some type of interpretation or explanation, or you will give some type of prediction that the cause of anything is this, and after that you will test your hypothesis. While in induction, first of all there would be observation, then pattern, then tentative hypothesis, and after that you will make a theory. Logical steps of the scientific method. In logical steps of the scientific method, it is systematic, cyclic, series of logical steps. And first of all, you have to identify the problem, what is the problem, and after that there would be formulating a hypothesis. You will give a prediction that behind that problem this is the cause, and developing the research plan. In developing the research plan, you are going to test your hypothesis with different tools. like with the help of interviews, observations, with the help of any experiment. And collecting and analyzing data, you will collect the data, and after that you will analyze your data, and after that you will interpret your results, and you will form conclusions, or you will discuss about the findings. New question arise. Here you are talking about the closed loop conceptualization of the research process. It was given by Hardman, and the first question identified, and after that there would be hypothesis, and then you will go for the research plan, then data collection, and after data collection you will test your data, and after that there will be result interpreted, and after result there would be new question will arise. Now we are going to talk about theory versus hypothesis. Hypothesis, as I told you earlier, it is like a prediction. You are giving a prediction that the reason behind some type of problem is, or the cause of this problem is this. A belief or the prediction of the final outcome of the research, a concrete specific statement about the relationship between the phenomena, and actually hypothesis, it is based on the deductive reasoning which is general to the specific. And next there is a theory. Theory is actually, I have already explained that when we talk about the theory is basically a supposition or the system of ideas intended to explain something, and especially one based on general principles independent of the thing to be explained. For example, there is an example of the theory like Darwin's theory of evolution. It is basically a set of principles on which the practice of any activity is based. And a theory is basically a belief or assumption about how things relate to each other, and theory establishes a cause and effect relationship between variables with the purpose of explaining and predicting phenomena, and it is based on inductive reasoning from specific to the general. Hypothesis, theories, and the law. In an ideal world, first there would be hypothesis, then there would be theories, and after that it will make a law. After testing, it will make a law. Now we are going to talk about empiricism. I have already explained about the empiricism. What is mean by empiricism? Empiricism is a theory that the origin of the all knowledge is sense experience, and it emphasizes the role of experience and evidence, especially the sensory perception, in the formation of ideas, and argues that the only knowledge humans can have is posteriori. Posteriori is basically means that is based on experience. Now pragmatic observation, it is like the developing theory through the experience and the observation. It is based on basically experience and the observation.